He fired her in front of 200 people. 3 days later, he found her diary. By page 10, his hands were shaking. By page 50, he couldn't breathe. By the last page, he realized he'd destroyed the only person who ever truly saw him, and she was gone. Let me tell you about the worst mistake Alex Donovan ever made. October 15th, Tuesday, 3 p.m. The entire company, 200 employees, gathered in the main atrium. Glass walls, marble floors, the kind of space designed to make you feel small. Alex stood at the front, billionaire CEO, the man they called the Iceman. He was about to make an example of someone. That someone was Emma Sinclair, 28 years old, 5 years with the company. The woman who fixed every crisis before it became a headline. The woman who worked 70-hour weeks and never asked for credit. Alex looked directly at her and said, "When someone betrays this company, they don't get a quiet exit." Security moved in. 200 people watched. Emma didn't cry, didn't beg, didn't defend herself. She just walked out, head high, heart shattered. And she left something behind. A leather-bound diary that slipped under her desk in the chaos. Now, before I tell you what was in that diary, I need to know something. Have you ever been blamed for something you didn't do? Have you ever given everything to people who didn't even know your name? If you have, then you need to hit that subscribe button right now, because this story is for you. And if you don't subscribe, you're telling me that stories like Emma's don't matter. So subscribe. Or go to the comments and tell me why you won't. Those are your only two options. Now let's talk about what Alex found. That night, alone in his office, Alex almost threw the diary away, but something stopped him. He opened it. First entry. 5 years ago. Emma's first day at the company. I met the CEO today. Everyone says he's cold. Maybe, but when he shook my hand, he looked me in the eye. Most people don't do that. Alex kept reading. The CFO screamed at his assistant until she cried. I stayed late to help her. He didn't notice. That's fine. That's not why I did it. Mr. Donovan's mother died. No one sent flowers. I left an anonymous card on his desk. I hope he knows someone noticed. Alex stopped. He still had that card. In his desk drawer, he'd kept it for 3 years. He never knew who wrote it. He kept reading. Victoria asked me to send confidential files to her personal email. Something feels wrong. I didn't do it. I'm documenting everything, just in case. Alex's blood went cold. Victoria Ashford, his head of legal. The woman who'd presented the evidence against Emma. The woman who smiled at him every morning. He kept reading. And then he found the entries about himself. I know it's foolish. He doesn't even know my name. But I see the man underneath the armor, and I think if he ever really saw me, he might find something worth knowing. He smiled today, a real smile. I forgot how to breathe. I'm in love with someone who will never see me, and that's the most dangerous thing I've ever felt. Alex closed the diary. His hands were shaking. Because Emma wasn't the traitor. She was the one who tried to stop it. And he'd destroyed her in front of everyone. Here's the question I need you to think about. If you humiliated someone in front of the world, then discovered they were innocent and that they loved you, what would you do? Would you try to fix it? Or would you accept that some damage can't be undone? Because Alex Donovan is about to find out that money can't buy forgiveness. Power can't erase shame. And some second chances come with a price he might not be able to pay. Emma never expected her career to end the way it did. But then again, no one ever does. Let me take you back to the beginning. 5 years earlier. Emma Sinclair walked into Donovan Enterprises on a Monday morning in September wearing a dress she'd bought on sale and shoes that pinched her feet. She was 23, fresh out of college, drowning in student loans. Her mother had just been diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. She needed this job. The position was Executive Operations Coordinator, which is corporate speak for we need someone to do everything important while we take the credit. Emma's job was to make sure nothing fell through the cracks. She managed schedules for 12 executives. She coordinated with legal, finance, operations, and PR. She was the person who got called at midnight when a deal was falling apart and someone needed a solution yesterday. And she was good at it. Better than good. Within 6 months, the entire executive floor ran on Emma's systems, her spreadsheets, her notes, her crisis management protocols that she'd built from scratch because nobody else bothered. But here's the thing about being indispensable. People don't thank you. They just expect more. The CFO screamed at his assistants, and Emma cleaned up the mess. The VP of sales missed deadlines, and Emma covered for him. The head of PR had a drinking problem, and Emma made sure clients never noticed. She worked 70-hour weeks. She skipped lunches. She took calls on weekends. She showed up when she was sick because there was nobody else who could do what she did. And for 5 years, almost nobody bothered to learn her last name, except for one person. Alex Donovan noticed her exactly once. It was her second week. She was in the break room at 11 p.m., crying quietly over a phone call from the hospital about her mother's treatment costs. Alex walked in to get coffee. He saw her. Their eyes met. He hesitated. For just a second, Emma thought he might ask if she was okay. Instead, he nodded, walked out, never mentioned it again. But that one moment, that flicker of something human in his eyes, it planted a seed. And over the next 5 years, that seed grew into something Emma couldn't control. She fell in love with a man who barely knew she existed. Let me ask you something. Have you ever loved someone from a distance? Someone you saw every day but could never reach? Someone who occupied your thoughts and your dreams but didn't even know your middle name? Because that was Emma's reality. Every morning, she watched Alex walk past her desk. Tailored suits, perfect posture, the kind of presence that made rooms go quiet. She knew his schedule better than he did. She knew he drank his coffee black with 1 sugar. She knew he hated conference calls before 9 a.m. She knew he had a scar on his left hand from a sailing accident when he was 16. She knew these things because paying attention was her job. But somewhere along the way, it became more than that. She started noticing the small things. The way his jaw tightened when he was frustrated, the way he rubbed his temple when he had a headache, the rare moments when his mask slipped and she saw exhaustion underneath. She saw the man everyone else missed, and she wrote about it. Every night, Emma came home to her small apartment, made tea, she was too tired to drink, and wrote in her diary. She wrote about her day. About the fires she put out and the credit she didn't receive, about her mother's medical appointments and the bills piling up. And she wrote about Alex. Not the CEO, not the millionaire, the man who worked 18-hour days because he didn't know how to stop, the man who attended every employee's funeral but never their weddings, the man who built an empire but couldn't build a relationship that lasted more than 3 months. Emma saw his loneliness, and she ached for him. But she never said a word. Because women like Emma didn't get fairy tales. They got paychecks and performance reviews and the quiet satisfaction of knowing they kept the world turning while everyone else took the applause. That was enough. It had to be. Until the day Victoria Ashford decided Emma knew too much. Victoria Ashford was everything Emma wasn't. Harvard Law, connected family, the kind of polished confidence that came from never having to worry about money or power or whether people would take you seriously. She'd been with Donovan Enterprises for 10 years, started as a junior attorney, climbed to head of legal by 34. She was brilliant, ruthless, and ambitious in a way that made people nervous. But Alex trusted her. She'd saved the company from 3 major lawsuits. She negotiated deals that saved millions. She had a spotless record and impeccable references. What Alex didn't know was that Victoria had been selling company secrets for the past 18 months, and Emma was starting to figure it out. It started small. files that went missing from shared drives, confidential emails forwarded to external addresses that Emma didn't recognize, Victoria taking meetings with executives from rival firms and calling them industry networking. Emma didn't want to believe it, but she couldn't ignore the pattern. So she did what she always did. She documented everything. Timestamps, email trails, server logs showing when Victoria accessed files she had no business touching. Emma didn't go to Alex. She went to HR first. Big mistake. The HR director smiled, took notes, said they'd look into it, and then she went straight to Victoria. Because Victoria played golf with the HR director's husband. Because Victoria had dirt on half the executive team. Because in corporate America, power protects power. 2 weeks later, the Hartman merger collapsed. $140 million up in smoke because confidential bid documents leaked to a competitor. The board demanded blood, and Victoria handed them Emma. The evidence was perfect. Emails sent from Emma's account. Server logs showing she'd accessed the Hartman files the night before the leak. A money trail leading to an offshore account that had Emma's name on it. All of it fabricated. All of it convincing. Alex never questioned it. Why would he? Victoria presented the evidence in a closed-door meeting with the board. Clean, comprehensive, damning. Emma Sinclair, the quiet assistant nobody really knew, the perfect scapegoat. When Alex called Emma into his office that Tuesday afternoon, she thought she was there to help with damage control. She had no idea she was about to become the damage. Alex didn't yell. That wasn't his style. He just looked at her with those cold blue eyes and said, "I trusted you." Emma's stomach dropped. "I don't understand. The Hartman leak, the offshore account, the emails." "What emails?" "I didn't." "Don't." His voice was ice. "The evidence is clear. You sold us out." Emma felt the ground disappear beneath her feet. "That's not true. I would never. Security will escort you out. Legal will be in touch about criminal charges." "Alex, please, just listen." "Mr. Donovan," his jaw tightened, "you don't get to use my first name. You don't get to act like we're colleagues. You're a thief, and I'm done with this conversation." Emma opened her mouth, closed it. Because what was the point? She could see it in his eyes. He'd already decided. The trial was over before it started. So she stood, smoothed her skirt, and walked to the door. She turned back once. "For what it's worth," she said quietly, "I hope you figure out who really did this, before they destroy everything you built." Alex didn't respond. Emma left his office and walked straight into her nightmare. The all-hands meeting was already set up. 200 employees packed into the atrium. Emma stood near the back, clutching her phone, wondering if she should just leave, but security was already watching her. She was trapped. Alex took the podium. He talked about loyalty, about trust, about the foundation of the company being honesty and integrity, and then he said it. "Someone in this room betrayed everything we stand for." He looked directly at Emma. "When someone violates our trust, they don't deserve privacy. They deserve accountability." 2 security guards moved toward her. The room went silent. 200 pairs of eyes turned to watch. Emma felt every single one of them. The colleagues she'd helped, the executives she'd covered for, the assistants she'd trained, the people she'd worked beside for 5 years. None of them said a word. None of them defended her. They just watched as security took her badge, her laptop, her access card. Emma walked through that crowd with her head high and her heart breaking into pieces she didn't know how to put back together. She walked out of Donovan Enterprises, and she didn't look back. Now let me stop right here, because if you're still watching and you haven't subscribed, I need to know why. This channel exists because of people like you. People who care about stories that actually mean something. Stories about real emotions and real consequences and characters who feel like people you might actually know. But every time you watch without subscribing, you're telling the algorithm this content doesn't matter. that it's disposable, that you'll consume it and move on without giving anything back. And I get it. Subscribing feels like a commitment, but it's a free button. It takes 2 seconds. So here's the deal. If Emma's story matters to you, subscribe right now. If it doesn't, go to the comments and tell me why. Tell me what I'm missing. Tell me what would make this worth your time. But don't just lurk. Don't just take the story and vanish. Engage, subscribe, or comment. Pick one. Now let's talk about what happened next. Because 3 days after Emma walked out, Alex found something that changed everything. Alex didn't mean to keep the diary. It was in a box of Emma's personal items that security packed up. Someone left it on his desk with a note. Dispose? He should have thrown it away. He didn't. That night, alone in his office, he opened it. The first page was dated 5 years ago, September 12th, Emma's first day. Started at Donovan Enterprises today. The CEO shook my hand. His grip was firm, confident, but his eyes looked tired. I wonder if anyone ever tells him it's okay to rest. Alex frowned. He kept reading. The CFO threw a stapler at his assistant today. Missed her by inches. She locked herself in the bathroom and cried for 20 minutes. I helped her fix the report he ruined. She thanked me. He didn't notice. That's fine. She needed the help. That's what matters. Alex turned the page. Mr. Donovan's mother passed away. The announcement went out this morning. Everyone sent flowers and cards that HR probably signed for him. I wanted to do something real, so I wrote a note. Grief is not weakness. It's proof you loved something. I left it on his desk. I didn't sign it. I just hope he knows someone sees him. Alex stopped breathing. He opened his desk drawer. The card was still there. Cream cardstock, elegant handwriting. He'd read it every year on his mother's birthday. He never knew who wrote it, until now. Alex kept reading, page after page, year after year. Emma's life unfolded in front of him. Her mother's cancer diagnosis, the hospital bills that buried her, the second job she took on weekends just to keep up with payments, the exhaustion she never showed at work, the nights she cried herself to sleep, the mornings she woke up and forced herself to smile because falling apart wasn't an option. And woven through all of it, her observations about him. He canceled all his meetings today. I don't know why. But I saw him standing at his office window for an hour, just staring out at the city. I wanted to knock, to ask if he was okay. But men like him don't want pity. They want privacy. So I left him alone. But I hope he knows he doesn't have to carry everything by himself. Someone on the board challenged his decision in today's meeting. I watched him shut them down with 3 sentences. Calm, precise, devastating. Everyone thinks he's cold, but I think he's just tired of people underestimating him. I think he's been proving himself his entire life and he still doesn't feel like it's enough. He smiled today, really smiled. Not the boardroom smile or the investor smile, a real one. Someone brought their daughter to the office and she asked if he was a superhero. He laughed. I forgot how to breathe. Alex closed his eyes. She saw him, really saw him. Not the billionaire, not the CEO, not the reputation or the power or the headlines, the man underneath all of it. The man who worked himself to exhaustion because stopping felt like failing. The man who kept people at a distance because closeness meant vulnerability. The man who built an empire but couldn't figure out how to build a life. Emma saw all of it, and she never asked for anything in return. Then Alex found the entries about Victoria. Victoria's been acting off lately. Lots of closed-door meetings, files disappearing from the shared drive. She asked me to forward the Hartman projections to her personal email, said it was for off-site review. I didn't do it. Something felt wrong. Caught Victoria in the server room at 9 p.m. on a Saturday. She said she was looking for a file, the server room, on a weekend. I documented the time. The door logs will show she was there. I really hope I'm wrong about this. Victoria's been meeting with Harrison from legal. A lot. Always behind closed doors. Always with no assistants. No notes. I asked around. Nobody knows what they're working on. That's not normal. I'm keeping track of every meeting I can confirm, just in case. Went to HR today. Told them about my concerns. They said they'd look into it. But the HR director is friends with Victoria. I don't think anything's going to happen. I think I just made myself a target. The entry was dated 3 weeks before the Hartman leak. Alex felt sick. He kept reading. And then he found the entries about himself. The ones Emma wrote late at night when she was too tired to lie. I know this is foolish. I know he doesn't see me as anything more than the person who manages his calendar. But sometimes, when I'm alone, I let myself imagine what it would be like if he did. If he looked up from his desk one day and actually saw me. Not my efficiency, not my work, me. And in that version of the story, I'm brave enough to tell him the truth, that I see him too, that underneath all the armor, there's someone extraordinary, someone worth knowing, but that's not this world. So I keep it here, on these pages, where it's safe. I think I'm in love with him. Not the idea of him, not his money or his power or his status. Him. The man who works until midnight because he doesn't know how to stop. The man who remembers every employee's name but forgets to eat lunch. The man who built something incredible but doesn't let himself enjoy it. I see his loneliness, and it breaks my heart, because I'm lonely too, and we're in the same building, breathing the same air, and we might as well be on different planets. Last entry before tomorrow's board meeting. I have a feeling something big is coming. Victoria's been too quiet, too careful. I've documented everything I can. If something goes wrong, at least there will be a trail. I just hope I'm being paranoid. I hope tomorrow is just another day. I hope I get to keep doing this job I love, in this building, near this man I'll never have the courage to speak to. That's all I want. Just one more day of this beautiful, impossible routine. The entry was dated the night before the Hartman leak. The night before Emma's world ended. Alex closed the diary. His hands were shaking. His vision was blurred. He'd destroyed an innocent woman. Worse, he'd destroyed the one person who actually cared about him. And by the time he realized what he'd done, she was already gone. Alex didn't sleep that night. He sat in his office until dawn, reading Emma's diary cover to cover, twice. By sunrise, he'd made 3 decisions. First, find out the truth about Victoria. Second, clear Emma's name. Third, find Emma and beg for forgiveness. In that order. The truth about Victoria took 48 hours. Alex called his most trusted IT director at 6 a.m., told him to conduct a full audit of Victoria's communications. Off the books, complete discretion. What they found was worse than Alex imagined. Victoria had been selling company secrets for 18 months. Small things at first, projections, strategic plans, nothing that would trigger immediate red flags. But over time, she got bolder. She'd leaked the Hartman bid documents to a rival firm for $2 million, transferred to an offshore account in the Cayman Islands. The account with Emma's name on it, fabricated. The emails from Emma's address, sent from a spoofed IP that traced back to Victoria's personal devices. She'd framed Emma perfectly, and she'd almost gotten away with it. Alex confronted Victoria in her office on Thursday morning. He didn't yell, didn't threaten. He just placed a folder on her desk. That's every email you sent to Meridian Industries over the past year, every wire transfer, every falsified document you used to frame Emma Sinclair, and a notarized statement from our IT director confirming you accessed Emma's credentials to send those emails. Victoria's face went white. Alex, I can explain. You're fired. Security will escort you out in 10 minutes. Legal is filing charges, and if you say one word to the press, I will personally ensure you never work in this industry again." Victoria opened her mouth, closed it. She knew she was beaten. 10 minutes later, she was gone. Alex called an emergency board meeting that afternoon. He presented the evidence, explained everything, admitted his mistake. The board was silent. Finally, the chairman spoke. "What do you need from us?" "A public statement clearing Emma's name, a formal apology, and whatever compensation package she asks for. And if she doesn't come back?" Alex's jaw tightened. "Then we give her everything anyway, because it's what she's owed." The board approved it unanimously. But clearing Emma's name was the easy part. Finding her was harder. Emma had vanished. Her apartment was empty. Lease terminated. Forwarding address, none. Her phone was disconnected. Her email bounced back. Her social media accounts were deleted. It was like she'd erased herself. Alex tried her emergency contact, a woman named Sarah, Emma's college roommate. Sarah answered on the third ring. "If this is about the lawsuit, she's not interested." "This is Alex Donovan. I need to speak with Emma." Silence. "You've got a lot of nerve calling me." "I know, but I need to find her. I need to make this right." "You destroyed her in front of everyone. You called her a thief. You humiliated her. And now you want to make it right?" "Yes." "She doesn't want to talk to you." "I'm not asking her to forgive me. I'm asking for the chance to apologize in person. That's all." Another long silence. "She went home. Upstate. Her mother's dying. Emma's with her." Alex felt his chest tighten. "Where?" "I'm not telling you that. Please." "Why should I?" "Because she deserves the truth. And I'm the only one who can give it to her." Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Then she gave him an address. "Before I tell you what happens next, I need something from you. If you're still here, still watching, still invested in whether Emma gets her apology and whether Alex can possibly fix what he broke, then you owe it to this story to subscribe. I'm serious. This channel survives because people like you decide that stories with depth and heart and real emotion are worth supporting. Every subscriber tells me to keep going. Every person who doesn't subscribe tells me the opposite. So what's it going to be? Are you going to support the channel that's giving you a 30-minute story with real stakes and real characters? Or are you going to consume it and move on like it's disposable? Subscribe. Or comment and tell me why you won't. But don't just disappear. Now let's talk about what happened when Alex found Emma. Because when he finally saw her again, she wasn't the woman he remembered. The town was called Millbrook, 2 hours north of the city. Population 3,000. Emma's childhood home was a small blue house at the end of a quiet street. The paint was peeling. The garden was overgrown. Alex parked across the street. He sat in his car for 20 minutes, staring at the front door, trying to figure out what to say. Finally, he got out, walked up the cracked driveway, knocked. Emma answered. She looked different, thinner, tired. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun, no makeup, jeans and an old sweater. But her eyes were the same, and when she saw him, those eyes went cold. "What are you doing here?" It wasn't a question. "I came to return something." He held out the diary. Emma stared at it. Her composure cracked, just for a second. "You read it?" "Yes." "Then you know everything?" "Yes." Emma took the diary, held it against her chest like armor. "If you're here to offer me money to keep quiet, you can leave." "I'm not." "Then what do you want?" "To apologize." Emma laughed. It was a bitter, broken sound. "An apology? That's rich." "Emma, don't." Her voice shook. "Don't say my name like we're friends, like you didn't stand in front of 200 people and call me a traitor. You're right. I did that, and I was wrong. Damn right you were wrong. Victoria framed you. I have proof. She's been fired. Charges have been filed. The board issued a formal apology. Your name has been cleared." Emma was silent. "That's it?" she finally said. "That's your apology? We caught the real criminal, so you're off the hook?" "No, that's just the facts. The apology is this." Alex took a breath. "I should have listened to you. I should have asked questions. I should have given you the benefit of the doubt. But I didn't. I believed the evidence because it was easier than believing I'd been wrong about someone I trusted. And I destroyed you because of it. I humiliated you. I took away your career, your reputation, your dignity, and no amount of money or public statements or legal victories can undo that." Emma's eyes were wet. "You're right. They can't. I know. So why are you here? Because you deserved better. You deserved someone who saw your value, and I didn't. I was so focused on running the company that I missed the fact that you were the one holding it together. I missed the fact that you saw me, really saw me, when no one else did. And I missed the chance to tell you that the card you left on my desk when my mother died is the only thing that got me through that year." Emma looked away. "I didn't write that card so you'd thank me. I know. You wrote it because you cared, because you saw someone in pain and you wanted to help. That's who you are. And I should have seen it sooner. But you didn't." "No, I didn't." They stood in silence. Finally, Emma spoke. "I read something once about how the worst kind of betrayal isn't when someone hurts you on purpose. It's when someone you respected shows you they never really saw you at all. That's what you did, Alex. You showed me that 5 years of loyalty meant nothing, that I was just another employee, another replaceable part. I'm sorry. I know you are. But sorry doesn't fix this. I know that too." Emma looked at him. Really looked at him. "Why did you read the whole diary? You could have stopped after the first few pages. After you found the evidence about Victoria. Why keep going?" Alex hesitated. "Because I needed to understand who you were. And by the time I finished, I realized I'd been working next to someone extraordinary for 5 years, and I never bothered to notice. And now you notice. How convenient. You're right. It is. And I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect you to come back. I just needed you to know that I see you now, and I'm sorry it took losing you to make that happen." Emma wiped her eyes. "My mother has maybe 3 weeks left. I'm staying here until the end. After that, I don't know what I'm doing. But I know I'm not coming back to that building. I'm not going back to being invisible." "You were never invisible. I was just blind." "Same result." Alex nodded. "For what it's worth, we created a new position. Director of Corporate Ethics. It's yours if you want it. Full control over compliance, employee protection, and internal investigations. You'd report directly to the board, not to me. You'd have the power to actually change things." Emma raised an eyebrow. "You're offering me a job?" "I'm offering you the chance to make sure what happened to you never happens to anyone else." "That's manipulative." "It's honest." Emma almost smiled. "I'll think about it. That's all I'm asking." Alex turned to leave. At the end of the driveway, he stopped. "Emma?" "Yeah?" "The entry you wrote, about loving someone you'd never have the courage to speak to." Emma's breath caught. "I wasn't supposed to read that." "I know. But I did. And I need you to know something." "What?" "I spent 5 years building a company. I thought that was enough. I thought success meant having control and power and respect. But you were right. I'm lonely. I've been lonely for years, and I didn't even realize it until I read what you wrote." Emma didn't respond. "I'm not asking for anything," Alex continued. "I just wanted you to know that someone saw you too. I just wish I'd been smart enough to see you when it mattered." He walked to his car. Emma watched him go, and for the first time in weeks, she let herself cry. But Alex wasn't done yet, because 6 weeks later, everything changed again. Emma's mother passed away on a Tuesday morning in November. She died peacefully. Emma was holding her hand. At the funeral, 12 people showed up. Neighbors, old friends, Emma's college roommate Sarah, and, in the back row, Alex Donovan. He didn't approach Emma, didn't speak. He just sat quietly through the service, and when it was over, he left a single white rose on the casket and walked away. Emma found the card later. For the woman who raised someone extraordinary, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet her. No signature. But Emma knew. 3 weeks later, Emma walked through the doors of Donovan Enterprises. She wore a black suit, new heels, her hair pulled back in a professional bun. She had a new badge, a new title, Director of Corporate Ethics. She passed Victoria's old office, empty now, being renovated. She passed the atrium where she'd been humiliated. Employees nodded at her. Some smiled. Word had spread about what really happened, about Victoria's arrest, about Emma's innocence. Emma reached her new office. It was on the executive floor. Glass walls, city view. On her desk, a leather-bound journal, brand new, blank pages, and a handwritten note. For the next chapter, whatever you decide to write, I hope it includes a world where people like you are seen. A. Emma sat down, opened the journal, and began to write. First day back. Strange to be here again. Strange to have an office with my name on the door. Strange to walk past people who used to ignore me and now look at me with something like respect. I don't know if I made the right choice coming back. But I know I'm not the same person who left. And maybe that's enough. There was a knock on her door. Emma looked up. Alex stood in the doorway, 2 cups of coffee in his hands. I remembered you take yours with cream, no sugar. Emma blinked. You remembered that? I'm paying attention now. Little late, don't you think? Probably, but I'm a slow learner. Despite herself, Emma smiled. What do you want, Alex? To welcome you back, officially, and to say thank you. For what? For giving this place a second chance, even though it didn't deserve one. Emma took the coffee. I didn't do it for the company. I did it for every person who's been overlooked or blamed or pushed aside. Someone has to protect them. Might as well be me. That's why you're perfect for this job. We'll see. Alex hesitated. Can I ask you something? Depends on what it is. The entry you wrote, about loving someone from a distance, is it... He stopped, started again. Do you still feel that way? Emma looked at him. Really looked at him. I don't know, she said quietly. I loved the man I saw in those moments when his guard was down, the man who smiled at a little girl and forgot to be invincible. But I don't know if that man is real, or if he's just someone I imagined because I needed something to hold on to. Alex nodded slowly. What if I told you I've been trying to figure out how to be that man? The one you saw, the one who deserves someone like you. I'd say you have a lot of work to do. I know, and I'm not waiting around while you figure it out. I wouldn't expect you to. Emma took a sip of her coffee. But maybe, she said, if you actually do the work, if you prove you're serious, we could start with coffee. Real coffee, not a guilt offering. Alex's face softened. I'd like that. Don't get ahead of yourself. I said maybe. Maybe is more than I deserve. You're right. It is. But she was smiling when she said it. Here's what I know about second chances. They're not about going back to who you were. They're about becoming someone better. Emma didn't come back to Donovan Enterprises to reclaim her old life. She came back to build a new one, on her terms, with her power. And Alex? He's learning what it means to actually see people, to listen, to value the things that matter more than profit margins and quarterly reports. Will they end up together? I don't know. But I know this. Some love stories don't start with fireworks. They start with someone finally opening their eyes. So let me ask you one last time. Would you have gone back? If you were Emma, Would you have given Alex a second chance? Or would you have walked away and never looked back? Leave your answer in the comments. And if this story meant something to you, if it made you feel something real, hit that subscribe button. Because stories like this only exist if you decide they're worth supporting. The choice is yours. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I really want to hear your take on this one. And if this story moved you, if you felt even a glimpse of truth in their pain, please take a moment to like this video. It helps more people like you discover stories that remind us what it means to feel. Don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just be the one that stays with you forever. This was Obsidian Romance, where hearts remember what money forgets.